Régis, first I can ask you, injuries, is everybody okay ahead of the weekend? Any issues?
The only one is Omar is under concussion protocol with daily assessments. So we'll keep monitoring his progress through the end of this week and into the next one to see if it will be available for Everton. But for now, it's too early to tell.
Bit of a blow, but you've got Reynildo back in the squad for the weekend. So that's a big advantage for you.
Yes.
Can I ask you about defence and midfield? Because your defence this season has been exemplary. It's one of the best in the league. Very connected and very interchangeable because you've had to move players from right to left and Mukeli back to right back and so on. Is that something that when you did all your planning in the summer and your recruitment, you were minded to focus very heavily on defence first ahead of the rest of the team?
Yeah, I think it's important to build consistency, especially in this league. If you are solid to protect your goal, you don't concede many goals. I think it's better to build confidence and to be able to be competitive. Yeah.
How much? I mean, it sounds slightly glib, but how much of a gamble was it for you to bring in someone like Robin Ruffs, the age that he is, the experience he's got, and the other players that's slightly unknown to you at this level?
The recruitment process. I think we defined early the profiles we needed. The alignment was good. From the owner to the recruitment staff, sporting director, the head of football and me. And we worked hard after that. And I think the identity of the club is totally open with young profiles. We need for the squad and the balance of the squad more experienced players as well. But it's not a problem to play and to develop young players. So for Robin, it's a good example.
The other side of the coin is midfield, where it's slightly less connected because there's been a lot of change. Adingra's in and out, Talby's in and out. Traore's played the last couple of games, and I think it's fair to say probably hasn't come up to your expectations. Is midfield an area you are concerned about, or is it something you may address in January to try and strengthen that area?
No, I think it's part of the process, especially the wingers. I think this position is really hard to play because you have to defend, you have to attack, you have to sprint, you have to counter press, and you have to be efficient in both boxes. So it's really demanding, and especially in our game model and our way of playing. So it just takes time, and we need to support and challenge our players, but we trust them.
Because Jacques Lefebvre, Sadiki, they've been largely outstanding. It's the flanks, and I know everyone talks about the African Cup of Nations, and that's going to be the area that looks as though you're going to be most vulnerable.
Yeah, we'll see. At the minute, it's fair to say that this part of the pitch needs development, but we believe that those players are able to play and to compete at the level. So I repeat, it's a question of time. They need support and they need challenges because the league is demanding, but I repeat, we trust them.
Chelsea at the weekend, I don't think there's many people would have imagined after 8 games you'd be going to Stamford Bridge level on points with Chelsea. Just a testament to how well you have started this season.
Yeah, it's been a good start to the season. So it shows that we were consistent, flexible, and able to win 4 games from 8. Chelsea are a really strong side. It's a top 4 team in the Premier League. Clearly, they can play 60 games per season. They have depth and a young and dynamic squad. So it's a good example for us because we aim to become not this kind of team exactly, but with the same identity. with young players and a strategy about development. They are good in possession, excellent in counter-attack, impressive in on-set pieces, well coached, and above all, they have individuals who can change the course of the game. So, big test and strong opportunity to develop our identity, and if we can win something, we'll do it.
And that strange situation that you've got Mark Guéhi playing back at Chelsea now, having played for Sunderland and scored for Sunderland, and played last night against Ajax, and will doubtless be involved at the weekend.
Yeah, it's sometimes the market and the life of the different clubs and players is a bit weird. We appreciated the short spell we had with Mark, but now it's another story.
And I noticed that Trevor Chalobah, I think, had a loan at Lorient. Do you remember much about him as a young player?
He played really well in Lorient. Yeah.
Good player.
Yeah, good player.
Thank you.
Régis, what happened with Mark? What happened with that situation?
I think it's well documented.
Was that the club's decision to allow him to go back? Could you have kept him? Or?
Yeah, I think we developed a good connection with Chelsea, and when they had many injuries, they decided to call our sporting department. They had the conversation, and the end of the story was he came back to Chelsea.
Yeah. So you were okay with the situation. You've gone out and bought someone else.
The market is the market, and sometimes you have to face unpredictable situations. We were able to find another solution, so the balance was this one. We can say yes to your request if we are able to find another solution, and it was possible, so at the end we're okay.
Leaving the match on Saturday, I spoke to a number of Sunderland fans, and the one, not question, but the one thing they kept saying, how did we manage to get someone, how did we manage to get players like we did, how did we manage to get Mukiele, sign him for that sort of money, £9-10 million, when the market is, there's so many big fees getting splashed around. How have we managed to get someone as good as that? How have you managed to do it?
The money, hopefully the money is not, you can't solve everything with money. I think you need money to be competitive in the market. But after that, you have to develop your own expertise according to the profile you need, the identity you have as a club. And I think the recruitment structure worked really well to find these profiles, because the connection early in the season went really well, and we felt that the personalities, the profiles fit really well with what we wanted.
And I know you spoke to us a few weeks ago before you went to Old Trafford, and you said, I think you've been there once before, I think you said with your son, just to watch a match. What's your history like at Stamford Bridge?
I went 2 or 3 times, I think. Yeah, it's a good stadium, good atmosphere.
Yeah.
Many good games.
Yeah. And was that like in managerial capacity to watch players, or did one of your family members support Chelsea?
No, it was more about internship, to find out new ideas, to connect with different clubs, and I worked with Christophe Lolichon, so it was a good connection for me.
Just last one from me. Are you surprised this season that some of the established Premier League clubs, or teams who've been in the Premier League for a longer time, the likes of Wolves, West Ham, Forest to a lesser extent, are you surprised to see them towards the bottom of the table? I know it's early, but are you surprised the way things are working out in these early days?
I think every season you can struggle and face different challenges, so it's probably too early to say that these teams will struggle the whole season. We still have 30 games to play, so it's a long way. We'll see.
Régis, a commentator at the weekend described Nordi Mukiele as the type of player who plays happy football. Is that a good description for him? And have you been even surprised at just how well he's settled in the Premier League so far?
Yeah, he has his own personality, and I think he fits well with the energy of the squad, and he can connect really easily with our crowd, our fans, and he brings energy, and I think it's really positive. So we have a good balance. Probably you need to associate this kind of player with more composed, a bit more organized player. So when you can find the right balance, I think it's positive. And Nordi shows this energy, this commitment, this level of creativity, even for a defender, which is positive because he scored, for example, against Wolves.
He's proving to be a pretty big weapon for you. I don't know if you've seen this debate about the return of the long throws, the importance of set pieces, going back to the Premier League era of Rory Delap at Stoke and people like that. How important a weapon is it for Sunderland this season?
I think it's just natural to think about set pieces for a promoted side. It's obvious to say that the possession phase, maybe we can discuss about counter-attacks because we have speed and threats in behind, for example, like Wilson or Eli, and they are able to manage big spaces. But set pieces, when you have this opportunity, and we are working hard behind the scene to develop this part of the game, is an opportunity to switch the momentum and to create chaotic situations in the opponent box. So yeah, it's obvious not only for the promoted sides, but for even the top 5, top 4 teams like Chelsea. Chelsea scored many goals on set pieces.
I saw that Jermaine Defoe was back at the training ground just last week or very, very recently. How nice was it for you to sit down and have a chat with him? How valuable was he in terms of passing on advice of his experience to the players, would you say?
We had a really short chat, but it was really interesting to connect with players who were really important for the club. I think the legacy is really important in England, and I appreciate to discuss with those players.
Just finally, completely out of left field, but I'm sure you've noticed that the bridge is over the Kiel crossing now. This is the one that was a lot of fans wanted to call Régis Le Bris Bridge anyway. Have you seen it? What do you make of it as the Sunderland manager?
I think it's a really good connection with the city. So we want to create this identity, and here the bridge is from the city, and it's a good symbol, a really strong symbol of this idea.
Thanks, Régis.
Hi Régis, your record at home has been outstanding this season. You can't take 38,000 Sunderland fans on the road with you, but how can you harness what you're doing at the Stadium of Light and take it around the country in the Premier League?
Yeah, it's a bit strange because in every league in the world, it's always something which accepted. You will be stronger at home rather than away, but it's still football, it's still 11v11, and we don't know exactly what is behind the scenes to explain this idea. So it's obvious to say that this energy of the crowd helps the squad through different moments when we are strong. It was the case for the first half, for example. We felt this extra drive. So we won't have this support, the same level of support away, but I think it's important to keep the mindset of the proactivity. And so we'll try to be stronger away. We won once, which for a promoted side is not too bad, and drew once as well. So now, tough challenge at Chelsea, so it's more about the opponent now, but will be a good test.
Noah Siddiqui's been nominated for Young African Player of the Year. Just tell us a bit about the impact he's had since coming here, and how good can he be? What level can he reach?
We don't know yet. He's again really well connected with the identity. Is really alive, and the personality and the player, and really coachable. we are talking football and only football, which is for me really important because it's connected with one purpose. I want to be the best player as possible, and I think it fits well with what we want to develop here. And he's a really good player, which is useful for a coach.
Thank you.
Régis, just looking at the defence again, how high are the confidence levels at the moment? Because of course they're putting in some really solid performances, clean sheets, and contributing to attacks as well.
Yeah, it's fragile because our last experience at Manchester United was tough. I think we struggled for 30 minutes, tried to find a solution and change the system. So it shows that when you are not top, the opponent has the ability to punish you. So it's always like a process. We know that so far we are good. We know the pillars we have to involve to be strong. But at the same time, it's always fragile. But I think it's an important part to build confidence and to help the team and the players to play good football.
And how do you go about coaching those defenders you've got to join the attacks and contribute to them and come out with an outcome that we saw against Wolves with Omar and Trey Hume combining for that? Nobody McKeely combining for the goal.
Yeah, it was after a long throw. So we stayed high and developed possession with different unusual position at the end of the situation. So it shows that starting from long throw, you can attack high with versatility. And I think Nordi is a good Trey are a good example of that. They can play both left or right, centre back. So when you are in this position, you are not disturbed and you can develop the action.
And just looking at the forward line now, did you think that going into the season that you had enough firepower with Wilson and Elisa, who had been with you in the Championship last season? Because obviously you had Mark, he's gone, you've got Brian as well. But did you think that those two were always going to be enough for the most part?
We'll see. At the minute, I'm really confident. And I repeat, this part of the pitch is the most difficult because you have to create, you have to defend, and then you have to create the danger. Sometimes you don't have enough support, so you have to do it alone against really strong defense, really strong defenders. So at the minute, I'm really happy with their behavior. The output has to be improved, but it's the case for everything in our squad. And the most difficult part in football is to score. So support and development.